Welcome to Real Quick. My name is Gio Giovanni. Let's get started. Happy Monday. I love Mondays. Don't you? Like many, I used to hate Mondays. And it was about the weekend. But now I've changed my mindset. It's now my time to put my game jersey back on my body and get back on the business playing field. We have a lot to talk about since Friday. Tons of stuff to go about. But I'm going to break it down right here. Here is the rundown. President Obama promoting his newest book while being interviewed on every platform, including a green screen with Oprah. President Trump going forward to prove irregularities in the 2020 election and possibility of fraud. Lawyer Sidney Powell helping with the Trump legal team officially is not a part of the Trump legal team, despite President Trump acknowledging she was on the team a week ago, apparently. However, she will continue to fight to prove the software by Dominion corrupted the election by shifting votes to VP Biden. And Kyle Rittenhouse was freed from jail after a $2 million bond. Rittenhouse thanks Ricky Schroeder and the MyPillow team, or the MyPillow guy, Michael Lindau, for helping with the bail. The families of the shot victims by Kyle Rittenhouse didn't like the bailout. Yeah, look, just real quick on the Rittenhouse case. Okay, the mainstream press categorizes this kid as some right-wing racist. And now if you're familiar with Black Coffee, they're trying to not have him assembled or an affiliate with, even though there's a picture of him with Black Rifle Coffee. I'm sorry, Black Rifle Coffee. Look, if it was my kid, he wouldn't have been out on the streets. I thought it was so stupid of him and let's not forget, all those other kids, all those other Antifa wannabe or whatever they were, Black Lives Matter kids, I don't know what, but let's get that straight. No one should have been on those streets in Kenosha, Wisconsin, after that Jacob Blake shooting. But the fact of the matter is, all these kids were, and then Rittenhouse was one of them, okay? And if you saw the case, or if you saw the videos, I mean, he went out there to help, but then he was carrying an AR-15, which I thought was crazy, but I guess you can do that in the state of Wisconsin. Police looked like in the videos, it looked like he knew the police as they drove by and were talking to him and handing out waters. Like, it was no problem. Even after he shot the three people he did, and he put his hands up, and the police just roll right by. It's crazy. But let's get some things straight here, okay? I don't think this kid is some right-wing racist, all right? Second of all, he was getting attacked by those kids, or like those, whoever they were. He was getting attacked, okay? And he had a skateboard launched at his head. Actually, it wasn't even launched. It was grabbed and used as a weapon to almost struck him. Probably, I don't know. It looked like in the video like a foot, or the pictures, it looked like a foot away from his head. And then some other guy had a gun and was going to shoot him. And he shot three people, all in self-defense. But by lawyers who I've seen analyze the footage and talk about what's going on and broke it down frame by frame, they all said that, and granted it wasn't proven yet in a court of law, they have not gone to trial yet, but they've all said that it was in self-defense and that there's a case to be made that he's in self-defense. And look, I don't wish death on nobody, at least I try not to, but look, those people were gonna kill Kyle. They were going to kill him. It's the actions that they done. If Kyle didn't die, he was going to be messed up permanently. And so Kyle had no other choice. Well, maybe he did have a choice, but he shot in defense. So it was either him or the other guys. And again, I don't think he should have been on the streets. None of those punks should have been on the street. But the fact of the matter that they were, and it was self-defense. I want to know, though, and I still haven't heard yet, if he is legally able to carry the rifle that he was in that state. I mean, like I said, he was walking by the police earlier in the night, no problems. He was actually there helping to assist with medical, apparently. I just think it's weird how this kid, 17 years old, was able to go out and say he's helping with medical, and yet he's carrying around an AR-15. But at the same time, look, those punks were trying to get him, and those punks almost killed him. And I get it. It's either him or them. And someone was going to die at that point. And 2 or 3 people, 2 for sure died. One, I can't remember if he died or not. But I get it. And then one of them was a child molester that got killed. But see, you don't hear that from the mainstream press. You don't hear about that stuff. That's the same thing what happened 2 weekends ago when the march, the MAGA march happened. And you had the guy, the Antifa member or the Black Lives Matter member who knocked down the elder man on the street. He was also a sex offender. Big time sex offender. But the left media doesn't mention that. They don't mention that at all. The mainstream news admitting some irregularities, but casting it aside. And when I'm talking about the irregularities, I'm talking about the election of 2020. And they almost all say, okay, so some irregularities happened, but that isn't enough to turn the election. The election that Joe Biden has not yet won. But the media awarding, I should say, the title instead of the Electoral College. And Biden asked for money from his voters this weekend to fund his office, his president-elect office. And they've already raised $10 million. Also, Senator Harris has not yet quit her Senate seat. What does this all mean? No one knows. No one knows. Or is it just, again, the Democrats are just so good at fundraising, at just, to just keep it going? Or are they coming up with a contingency plan B that in case they don't get into office, here's $10 million that'll pay for staff and whatever else, and Harris gets to keep her seat in the Senate. Pretty smart. Let's start with the lowest hanging fruit, though. This is President Obama, the first gay president, as he was awarded during his tenure by the mainstream press, by the way. Obama seems like a cool guy, despite, if you look at his presidency, getting us into 4 wars, pushing universal health care and passing it, and didn't turn out to be as great as he wanted. Those shovel-ready jobs were not shovel-ready. Those are his words. Wages stagnated, and gay marriage got passed. A lot of programs and initiatives on one end of the far spectrum. Yet, as left-leaning as some of these programs were, it's more on a globalist scale. Now, the globalists seems like a far-left people, and they might have a hint of that. However, they are very business-orientated and want to redistribute wealth and power from you and me. Something that the so-called Harris-Biden, notice I said that, Harris-Biden administration will push to quote unquote, make things fair, or to reset the world, as stated in the previous real quick. Obama, he is more into the fame than helping out America. Do you think so? Or perhaps the world? Or like Minister Louis Farrakhan wanting him to make up for the lack of his, quote, legacy the white people gave him. Here is audio from Farrakhan back in 2016 when Obama was on his way out of being president. I really love this speech. You gotta hear this, okay? Check this out.
You've been in that party a long time. Answer me. What did you get? You got a president. He's worried about his legacy. Well, you want Hillary to get in to protect your legacy because Trump said the minute he get in, he's going to reverse the Affordable Care Act. Because that's your signature achievement. To show you how hateful the enemy is, he hates that you achieved what you did achieve. So he said, I'm going to tear it up when I get in. So he don't want his legacy destroyed. Mr. President, let the man do if he get in what he wanted. Because he's not destroying your legacy. If your legacy is bound up in an Affordable Care Act that only affects a few million people and they're trying to make it really difficult for those of us who signed up, that's not your legacy. But I just want to tell you, Mr. President, you from Chicago and so am I. I go out in the street with the people. I visited the worst neighborhoods. I talked to the gangs. And while I was out there talking to them, they said, you know, Farrakhan, the president ain't never come. Could you get him to come and look after us? There's your legacy, Mr. President. It's in the street with your suffering people, Mr. President. And if you can't go and see about them, then don't worry about your legacy. Because the white people that you've served so well, they'll preserve your legacy. The hell they will. But you didn't earn your legacy with us. We put you there. You fought for the rights of gay people. You fought for the rights of this people and that people. You fight for Israel. Your people are suffering and dying in the streets. That's where your legacy is. Now you failed to do what should have been done. But it's never too late. You, like Jimmy Carter, can be a better president after you leave the restrictions of your White House and come on back to the hood and start organizing like you did. And with your influence all over the world, let's make a new and better people. And from us, if it's Allah's will, we can make a new and better America.
Okay. So, I'm not a Farrakhan fan, but that speech, I don't know. Is there something about it? It's kind of interesting. Here is the first black president being judged by one of the main black leaders in America, stating that Obama failed. My point is, this man, Obama, President Obama, is out doing everything but helping the black community. When Donald Trump is praised in at least 20% of black America, and the mainstream press doesn't give him anything. And the man who can judge him in the black community, who can judge President Obama, didn't get much press for what he said. Perhaps President Obama is serving the white constituents. That also includes Silicon Valley. Before we end the show, I hope, there's a lot of people out there who aren't watching Fox News anymore, and rightly so, I totally understand. But I think that there's some personalities on the network that are still worth watching. One of them being Mark Levin. If you haven't watched Mark Levin's Life and Liberty, last night should be one of his shows that you need to watch. And I'm convinced now when it comes to this election. Now, the left-wing media, left-wingers out there, these leftists, they all tell conservatives whenever they come up with, or a conservative says something about the election, that the election was rigged, Joe Biden didn't really win, the machines were rigged for Joe Biden. This is what you hear. Well, do you have any proof? And usually when something like that happens, someone's typically guilty when they say those. I've noticed. And yet there is proof out there. But like I said earlier in the show, they say like, well, it's not enough to change the vote. Well, how do you know that? But here's something else that you can tell all your leftist friends and the left-wing media, if you're out there. Here's something that's very concrete, because if you haven't been to court, you have to prove without a shadow of a doubt why you're right and the other person is wrong. And here is something that cannot be refuted, and that's the Constitution. If you watch clips on YouTube of Mark Levin's show last night, he breaks it down very clearly that the Constitution states you cannot change the rules of an election by a court. It has to go through the legislature, the state legislature, in fact. It's very clear in the documents, in the Constitution. Him and his guest, historian Victor David Hansen, go over this and break it down. And Levin is a lawyer, Hansen is a historian, and they both have sold me on the idea that, hey, look, there may be evidence out there that shows irregularities and possible fraud, but you have to prove it in a court of law. If you really want to get, if the Trump administration or Trump's legal team really wants to win this case, I think what they have to do is go back and stick to the Constitution. You cannot change an election by a state Supreme Court. It has to be by the legislature. That's like saying, you know what? We play this game all the time, this football game all the time. But you know what? For this reason, because of coronavirus, we're going to change the game and do it this way. It's not in the Constitution, folks. It's not in the Constitution. Cannot do that. Cannot do it. It's just that simple. You just cannot do that. Look, I'm going to have to be wrapping up here. But what I'm going to do is I want to give a shout out to everyone who's listening in the United States and now around the world. Very, very thankful for that. As a pull up right here, just want to give a shout out to, first of all, the American audience, as I can just kind of pull this up right here. Let's start off with here in California. We got people in Corona, Campbell, Sacramento, Marina, San Jose, and Santa Ana. San Jose, my hometown. We also got all out there in Texas, Dallas. What up, Big D? We go out in Virginia, Washington, Virginia. Didn't even know there was a Washington in there. We also got Seattle, Washington, listening to us. Over in New York, we got Staten Island, Monroe, Oceanside. Also, North Carolina, Charlotte. Yes, Michigan. Michigan, always in the news. Bloomfield Hills out in Michigan. Where you at? Oregon. Oh, who better not be Antifa. We know we got Gold Hill out there. Who else we got? We got Pennsylvania. Hey, good old Pennsylvania. Wilkes-Barre out there. And finally in Minnesota, we have Minneapolis. A lot of swing states there. A lot of swing states. And we also got people, wow. We also got people listening to us in Malaysia, United Kingdom, Hong Kong, and now Sweden over there in Stockholm. Wow. Amazing, folks. Just amazing. This show is really catching on. I thought it was just the United States, but now it's around the world. So really, really cool. And if you want to be involved, this is how you can do it. I'd like to know your thoughts about what I'm saying. Have a question, I'll answer it. Send me a message through anchor.fm. And on you can also find me on YouTube by typing in Gino Giovanni Presents. Leave a question or comment below the video. And by the way, today, up to date, all shows on YouTube now. Throughout the day, content's being rolled out. The previous 8 episodes will all be uploaded onto the Gino Giovanni Presents channel. Also, you can find me on Parler.com at Gino Giovanni, all one word. If you're trying to escape from Facebook and take down big tech, find me on Parler at Gino Giovanni. Real Quick with Gino Giovanni can be found on Anchor.fm and all major podcast platforms. Become a supporter of this podcast with a small monthly donation to help sustain future episodes of Real Quick with Gino Giovanni by going to anchor.fm/Real Quick with Gino Giovanni. Thank you for tuning in to Real Quick with Gino Giovanni. Have a great day, and may God bless you.